Howdy, folks. Here at Muncie Show Place 12, AMC. Really bad raining. But I'm going to go in and watch The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. So, let you know what I think of it. I'm going to go see it in 3D because, you know, this one's worth seeing in 3D because it's shot in 3D, so catch you on the flip side.
Truly, the tales and songs fall utterly short of your enormity, O Smaug, the stupendous.
We are the dwarves of Erebor. We have come to reclaim our homeland.
I offer you my help.
How do we know he won't betray us? We don't.
There is no king under the mountain, nor will there ever be.
It will not end here. With every victory, this evil will grow.
Legolas has grown very fond of you. Do not give him hope where there is none.
You have no right to enter that mountain. I have the only right.
We've been blind. In our blindness, our enemy has returned.
I found something in the Goblin tunnels.
What did you find? My courage.
Good. You'll need it.
Dragon fire and ruin.
That is what you will bring upon us. He cannot see beyond his own desire.
I will not risk this quest for the life of one burglar.
His name is Bilbo.
Thief. Where are you? Come now. Don't be shy. Step into the light.
So, The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. Well, I gotta say this. I thought this movie is a well continued. You know, Peter Jackson knows how to do storytelling like this. He knows how to create this world. You know, we've been to the Middle Earth before, but you know we've returned for the fifth time to the continuation of The Hobbit. This is part 2 in this particular series of films that Peter Jackson is doing. So, well, The Desolation of Smaug, positive things. I gotta say, it does continue right up where the last one left off. You know, you know, if you left hanging from the first movie, you won't be disappointed because it picks right back up where the last movie left off. And I thought that the pacing to this movie was a lot better than the first one. Because the first movie would be like set up the characters, introduce all the characters. You have a few little adventures, but it's mostly boring stuff. And that was my main complaint about the first movie of The Hobbit. I felt that it was too long, and I thought it really dragged. And because you do have the introduction of all the characters, and you just have you have these little things that they do to be adventurous. Well, in this movie, I felt that the pacing was much better because it's all about because now we're on to the part where they have to go feast the dragon of Smaug to take back the Dwarf Kingdom, okay? And the way Peter Jackson did it, he did it brilliantly, with just visually and wonderful that he is. And the action sequences were very good, actually. I thought it was somewhat comedic in one particular scene. And matter of fact, the audience I was in the theater with, we were all laughing at some parts during this scene. And there's a scene where they're all in barrels and floating down this river, and they're going down water slides and all that. Not water slides, but waterfalls and rapids and things like that. And while at the same time they're fighting orcs. Okay, and so. The whole time they're fighting these orcs, just some of the things that they do and some of the little gimmicks that they came up with, I really enjoyed that. And it is a little bit more emotional, that we go deeper into the character of Thorin, and why he is the way he is, and of course. We cannot forget that this is the prequels to The Lord of the Rings. And so you do see the dark side come out or see who the true evil form is. And it's not Smaug. It's Sauron. There, I just said it. I'll put a display, spoiler alert. But that's all. Actually, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna spoil that much for you that you do see Sauron in here, the Dark Lord Sauron in here. So, if you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. So, the movie, the negative things about the movie. Not too many, to be honest with you. The computer graphics were good, as usually Peter Jackson knows how to do. He knows how to do special effects well, and he knows how to use the technology to tell the story. However, my negative comments I do have. I still think that the movie ran just a tad long. I'm still under the belief, it's not an illusion, but under the belief that Peter Jackson cannot make a movie that's under 2 hours and 30 minutes, at least. I know, because this movie was 2 hours and 45 minutes. Now, according to a friend of mine, see, I've never read the book, okay? And a friend of mine told me that, you know how much left they have to tell in terms of reading time? In terms of reading time, do you know how much time is left? 50 minutes. Where they left this film off. But, I said to him, I believe that Peter Jackson will find a way to extend the heck out of it to 2 hours and 30 minutes or 3 hours. But that's just me. It's still a tad bit long. 2 hours and 45 minutes. I still think that's a little too long for someone to be sitting in the theater. But that's just me. I doubt if I would have survived during biblical epics during the 50s and 60s. But it's still just a tad bit long. And the other thing I had an issue with was Benedict Cumberbatch as the voice of Smaug. I think Benedict Cumberbatch is a wonderful actor. I mean, if you saw Star Trek Into Darkness, wow. The guy gives off a performance that's just unbelievable. And he's really good as the elf. But when it came to his voice as the Smaug dragon, if you've heard, or seen Benedict Cumberbatch in any of the other movies, you know that he already has a deep voice. He has a deep, resonant voice to begin with. But when they have him as Smaug, his voice is pitched down to where it sounds subwoofer rattling, and I guess that's what they were trying to go for, more of a monster-like sound, because that's usually what they do to make someone sound more monstrous, is they pitch their voice down. So they sound like this, and really menacing and just unnatural. But his voice, I mean, I swear, and even in this trailer, if you're listening on this to a decent sound system, you hear the voice just rattle the speakers because it's so low note, and Benedict Cumberbatch has a deep voice to begin with. So if you can imagine what, if you haven't seen anything about this, with a voice pitched down, it's very speaker rumbling, subwoofer rumbling sounding, and that's the only issue I really take from this. I take with the Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug. But yeah, I am looking forward to seeing the new one already, and probably won't come out until next year, maybe. They're following the same plans what they had with Lord of the Rings. I think it came out year after. 2001 was the Fellowship of the Ring. 2002 was the Two Towers, and 2003 was the Return of the King. So they're following that same pattern, and they're of course releasing it around December, Christmas time, which is a blockbuster month, because then the Oscars, they start looking at that. However, I don't think that the Hobbit movies will be entering that realm of what the Lord of the Rings did. Hold on there. I almost forgot something. I saw this movie in 3D. So, what do I think about the 3D in the film? Breathtaking 3D. Because it was actually shot in 3D. You could actually tell the faces looked natural. It didn't look like they were coming out of the screen, and objects were flying by us, the flames coming at us. It did have some eye-popping things, and it had some real depth. Now, it was actually shot in 3D. Matter of fact, there's a special feature on YouTube about Peter Jackson talking about shooting the movie in 3D. So I do encourage anybody to go and see the movie in a 3D format of some sort. Whether that be the real D 3D like I saw it, or I'm not quite sure about the high frame rate 3D. It may be well, see it if you have that option, go and see it. Or if you have the IMAX 3D, go see it. It's all these 3D formats are there for a reason. So I do encourage everybody to go check this movie out in the 3D format of some sort. So, there. But still, really good movies, really good themes behind them, really good Christian moral themes behind the whole story. And yeah, I can't wait to see the new one, so the third film. So, from me to you, see you later.